Hello, I'm Caroline Ferguson. I'm a mindset trainer and cognitive behavioural hypnotherapist, and I'm a founder member of the Headspace Crew, a group of mindset, well-being and change specialists who work with organisations. Now, I believe that the number one skill for living a happy and successful life is self-awareness. In a previous video called 5 Ways in Which Managers Are Self-Sabotaging During Coronavirus, I walked you through a self-awareness tool that I've developed called PACES. This helps you to do a self-assessment of the 5 main ways in which we humans tend to get in our own way. As a quick reminder, the 5 PACES hotspots are perfectionism, which is fear of failure. Imposter syndrome shows up often with perfectionism. Number 2 is need for approval, and that's about needing external validation, whether from attention or not wanting to let others down and prioritizing their needs. The third one is certainty, which is all about need to know what, where, when, how and who, and need for certainty is certainly triggering many people at the moment, as is the 4th PACES hotspot, which is a desire for comfort and ease and feeling safe. Now, the 5th hotspot is self-rule, and that is all about autonomy and identity and staying in control. Each of us has our own particular PACES hotspots and habitual stories or limiting beliefs that sabotage us, and walking yourself through your PACES and challenging yourself when you feel triggered is a good way to build self-awareness. But once you've identified how you're getting in your own way, for example through the PACES, what's next? How do we swap self-sabotage for self-empowerment? The process I'm going to show you in this video is one that I teach all of my mindset training clients. It's simple but very effective, and it consists of 3 empowering questions that you can ask yourself in any situation where you feel stuck or stressed or out of control. When you use this process, you will be able to understand how you are blocking yourself. You'll be able to interrupt those unhelpful stuck emotions and take back control of your mind. You'll be able to engage the vast problem-solving power of your creative imagination, and you'll free yourself to take action. So let's go through these 3 empowering questions, and to bring them to life, let's attach them to a work scenario that many managers are facing right now. So let's imagine that on top of everything else you currently have to do, you've been asked to carry out an urgent review of your team's effectiveness. You're aware that it could result in jobs being lost, including potentially your own. Different managers will experience varying emotions and mental states on receiving an instruction like this. Some are going to feel stuck in anger, anxiety, helplessness, or guilt. Others may feel concerned but have a more pragmatic attitude. How you feel is directly related to empowering question number 1, which is, what's the story I'm telling myself that's leading me to feel like this? Now, one of my heroes, who's a Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, 2,000 years ago said, it's not the event that disturbs us so much as our beliefs about the event. And yes, of course, when bad things happen, it's appropriate to feel bad, but your stories have a huge impact on how you feel and whether you feel stuck or you're able to process a situation and move forward. So if we feel anxious, angry, or upset about this task that we've been asked to do, our stories could sound like, I shouldn't have to do the company's dirty work. I can't lose my job. I'll never be able to get another one in this climate. I mustn't be involved in other people losing their jobs. They shouldn't be loading all this on my plate when I already have so much to do. Now, beliefs like these might sound reasonable in the circumstances, but the consequences for us are not helpful. All those musts and shoulds and oughts and have tos and got tos and need tos are more likely to leave us feeling stressed and stuck, which is not going to help us have a sensible conversation with our employers or enable us to focus on working effectively. So asking the question, what's the story I'm telling myself that's leading me to feel like this, does 3 things. First, it interrupts that emotional spiral of stressed and stuck. It helps you move from knee-jerk emotional reaction to conscious awareness and being able to reflect more calmly on what's happening and then responding in a more thought-out way. Secondly, it helps you to identify your unhelpful beliefs and reminds you that you have a choice to hang on to those stories or challenge them and swap them for beliefs that will have a more helpful impact on your emotions and behaviour. And thirdly, it acknowledges that you accept responsibility for the consequences that your beliefs have for you and how they drive your emotions and your behaviour and what's going on in your body. You'll notice that I've added in brackets, and which of my PACES hotspots are being triggered. Now, asking this helps you to drill deeper into exactly what your story is about. Being able to identify more clearly how you're winding yourself up puts you in a much stronger position to choose a new path. So that's the first question. What's the story I'm telling myself that's leading me to feel like this? Now for the second empowering question, which is, what would be a good outcome from this situation? By good outcome, I'm not referring to the perfect outcome or the best long-term solution. In that moment where you feel stressed and stuck, a good outcome could simply be that you feel calmer and less upset, more in charge of yourself and better able to think rationally and ask the right questions. In our scenario here, it's certainly the case that when you're not caught up in that vortex of emotion like anxiety, hurt or anger, you'll be in a better position to ask for clarity around what you've been asked to do and to understand and accept the business imperatives that are driving the request. You'll be able to prepare for and carry out your task, making the best case for your team without getting blindsided by your own emotions. So to recap so far, with question 1, you've interrupted the spiral of emotion and put yourself back in charge of you. With question number 2, you've engaged the powerhouse of your prefrontal cortex and fired up your creative imagination to start coming up with solutions. And this sends a powerful message to your mind that you are not helpless. Now for the third empowering question, which is, what can I do to make that good outcome happen? And this is where the creativity you set in motion in question 2 flows into taking action. Think of small steps that you can action quickly and then, and this is the really important bit, take that action immediately. So in our scenario, taking action could look like organising a meeting with your manager to ask questions and clarify the issue, or consulting with others in your position who've been given the same task and coming up with a consistent approach. Taking action creates momentum and proves to your mind that you're not stuck and that you are resourceful. It can also release feel-good endorphins even when the task itself really challenges you. So these 3 empowering questions can help you change state in seconds, shifting you from feeling paralysed and held hostage by these uncomfortable emotions to regaining control of yourself and being able to find solutions and deal with events in a constructive way. Even if you're in a situation that you can't change or get out of, like we're experiencing now with the coronavirus situation, you can transform your ability to deal with the situation, becoming less disturbed, more flexible, more resilient, and more solution-focused. I recommend that you write the 3 empowering questions on a card, and you can refer to them when you feel stuck in anxiety, frustration, misery, or any other uncomfortable emotion, for example. Or when you don't know what to do, or when you're wound up and you can't think of a way forward. Asking and answering the empowering questions will give you the breathing space to get out of the emotional, reactive spiral and to re-engage your consciousness so that you're back in charge of yourself. As a quick reminder, the 3 empowering questions are, number 1, what's the story I'm telling myself that's leading me to feel like this? And if you want to, you can drill deeper into that by asking about your PACES hotspot triggers. Number 2, what would be a good outcome in this situation? And number 3, what can I do? What action can I take to make that good outcome happen? So why don't you pause the video and make a note of them now? If you haven't already watched my video about 5 ways in which managers are self-sabotaging during coronavirus, I suggest that you do that and also download the PDF guide that comes with it. The link is below. Please also check out the video series on motivation from my Headspace Crew colleague Jill Mackay. Jill's neuroscience expertise and her engaging way of explaining and her practical tips will help you to understand yourself better and also get the best from your team. At the Headspace Crew, we create tailor-made mindset change and well-being programs for individuals and for teams within organizations. If you would like our help to find out how we can help you to support you and your people, my details are on the screen now. So that's it for this video. If you've found it helpful, please subscribe and share the YouTube link with your colleagues and the HR team in your organization. Thank you for watching.